Lighter by You sounds like a cologne.
Lighter by You.
Lighter by You. Lighter by You.
Lighter by You. Or maybe skin bleach treatment. Lighter by You.
This is Lighter by You. You two can look like your favorite Bollywood stores. It's terrible to be an actor.
It's not great. Not terrible.
I don't
I've
want to
heard
do
worse.
the racist version.
I've heard worse.
I want to do like the Apu version. And then when I try to do the other one, I just do it terrible. Like when I try to do a real one, bad.
Hey, accents are hard.
Only accents that I feel like I can't do, period.
Yeah, it's tough. British accents and Australian accents are fun. Or easy. But
No easy.
too easily.
Too easy.
Hello, you beautiful nerds. Welcome to the Drunk Banthas podcast. I almost did that in an Australian accent, but I thought better of it.
Hello, you beautiful nerds.
Welcome to the Drunk Banthas podcast, where we talk about sci-fi. I was about to say do Australian accents. What is going on with this intro? It's the worst it's ever been. Hello, you beautiful nerds. Welcome to the Drunk Banthas podcast, where we talk about sci-fi, fantasy, horror, and all of the popular art that we love. Also, we do it drunk. I'm joined, as always, by my co-host, Brother Bill. How you doing?
I am doing quite well.
Wonderful.
I am feeling very light. Very light.
You feel like you got the weight lifted off your shoulders?
Yeah, no. Like bright, but dark. Like
Bright, but dark.
saber.
Like if you're feeling like you got the dark saber energy going on right now.
Energy of dark person. Light shining through them. And penetrating through everything it sees like a saber.
That's some strong stuff. That's some penetrating emotions you got going on there.
I penetrate through most emotions.
Guys, I'm Jedi Master Grayson, and today we are talking about episode 5 and 6 of the Disney Plus series.
Exciting.
of the Star Wars.
Last week. We just had a lot of shit going on last week.
Yeah,
So,
a lot of shit going on.
Had a lot of videos come out last week, so I hope y'all been checking them out. Thank you for those who have. Also, if you haven't, go ahead and do so after this video. Hit the like button and subscribe so you don't miss any videos. Because, the worst thing in the world is to get in a big group of people. I know how it is. I get into a big group of people, they're like, did you see the latest Drunk Banthas drunk review on YouTube? And I'm like, no.
Always getting caught up in those conversations.
I didn't see that. Did y'all see that? When did it come out? Oh, this man got his bell notification.
He's missing videos like a
Don't be like
lame.
me. Make sure you never miss. Hit the bell, hit the subscribe button, then hit the bell, however it works. Make sure you leave a like, share, comment, all that stuff. Thank you to everybody who does. Don't be shy. I know you're nerds, but you don't have to be. This is a nerd-friendly zone.
This is a safe space.
This is a safe space. Nobody's listening. Nobody's watching. Just say whatever you want to say.
Yeah, just say whatever you want to say. Nobody's actually watching this.
I don't delete comments, so put down whatever you want to say. Say something racist.
Yeah, we'll let the YouTube guidelines take care of, like, if you say things like super inflammatory.
Like I said, leave them an eggplant emoji. Whatever. Thank you for watching. We love y'all. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, we love you guys. Love all the new subscribers. Welcome. And yeah, we're excited to talk about some Star Wars. Got a little Banthas shout out in one of the episodes. I was excited about that. It's like Banthas is just becoming part of the zeitgeist. I feel like we're putting it out into the world. But before we get into the nitty gritty of these two episodes, what were your initial thoughts? Them nitties and them gritties. What did you think? What were your initial thoughts on these last two episodes, the pirate and gun for hire?
I don't know if anybody's been able to hear me the whole time.
Oh yeah, right.
What was we saying?
What were your initial thoughts?
My thoughts about the fucking thing initially. It was a show, episode 5?
Episode 5 and 6. Just like your initial thought. Like, what did you think of,
episode 5
like,
was okay. It was okay. Episode 6 was goddamn dog shit. I mean, it was just so long, man. Like, so long to have nothing happen and then do nothing. You know, it was a lot of waiting to go nowhere, which is Hollywood's biggest secret. So, you know what? Maybe I'm being a little hard on it, but it was terrible.
Yeah.
So, I guess that averages out to an okay 2 episodes.
The first episode I definitely enjoyed. Like, I like that Bo-Katan continues to be like the best part of this season, in my opinion. But also, I really love Katie Sackhoff. Like, I watched the whole first season of Longmire just because I like Katie Sackhoff so much. And I seen it. It's fine. But yeah, I really like her. And I like her arc in this season. And I liked all the action in that episode, like, you know, like all the Mandalorians dropping out of the ship. Like, those are like cool shots in that first, in episode 5. Episode 6 definitely felt very video gamey. And then there were also some like just weird choices that we'll get into as we get
let's
into,
go
like,
down
the
to
episode.
one elevator and then go up another elevator and then go talk to this guy and then go see this person.
Yeah,
go see this person, and then nothing actually fucking happened.
Yeah, and then there was like some casting choices that I loved, but like ultimately it didn't really mean anything. And then there are some
Christopher Lloyd. It's like Christopher Lloyd's character was both awesome to see, but also didn't produce anything and didn't need to happen.
None of it was like so. Yeah, and I love Jack Black in it too, and I love that he's finally grown a beard that is worthy of being a character actor in a Star Wars series. Because like I feel like he's been growing his beard his whole career just to be in this movie or in this episode. But ultimately, like, yeah, it's whatever. But we'll get into that when we get to that. But let's talk about episode 5.
Let's talk about what we're talking
about. The pirate. Let's talk about what we're talking about. Episode 5, the pirate. It opens up with,
"You son of a bitch, I'm in."
Why? That was really,
because what's his name's in Weathers is in.
Oh
this,
yeah, Carl
episode.
Weathers.
So
yeah, that's right.
So, you son of a bitch, I'm in.
Son of a bitch.
Son of a bitch, I'm in.
Yeah. In retaliation for Vane's expulsion. How do I read Wikipedia notes? They're always so terrible.
I ask you that nearly every time, but you still do it, and I just be like, you should give up on them.
It's only what happens when I do these notes in a rush, and I don't actually write the notes myself. I don't know why I do this, but anyway, Gorian Shard, the
pirate.
The weird old Greg spongy pirate from the last of the couple episodes before. He shows up to Navarro and decides he's gonna shoot down Grief Karga's whole spot. He decides he's gonna start attacking all the people who live on Navarro, and Grief Karga, High Magistrate Grief Karga, decides he's going to send out a distress signal to the New Republic, see if they'll actually help. What did you think of this like whole opening scene? With
I'm not gonna
Navarro
lie, man. I think the one thing that's always missing from these like Star Wars pirates. I mean, I've like heard it from this community specifically. Like they don't really appreciate it that they're being misrepresented on these Star Wars films. Like no pirates have like a pirate accent. Like none of them sound like pirates, and like I know pirates who are like kind of upset about that, and like in their community they feel like very ostracized and exploited, and like they feel like they could have at least gotten some like real pirates to like play pirates if they're gonna have pirates.
I mean,
because
like
nobody's yo ho hoing, no bottles of rum, no.
It's just not authentic,
Yeah, no shiver me timbers, nothing. So it's like so inauthentic.
They clearly didn't have a pirate on set, advising people.
Right, no. So like I clearly feel like there's levels of discrimination that have been going on set. And like I've heard things from other pirates in the pirate community, and I just feel like that took it out for me. I took me out of it for me. I was out of it for that one a little bit, but once they started shooting those like pirates that weren't like pirates, like they just were so bad. I was like, you know what, that's cool because they're not real pirates anyway.
I know you're joking, but also I did feel like the pirates didn't have no swag. I feel like that the pirate characters were kind of boring, considering like I don't know, like
it's clearly anything that looks different than you is stupid and slow, right? It's like that's kind of how all like alien life is in Star Wars. Yeah. Attack the Mandalorian! Like it was like, oh, okay.
I did like the design of the puppet a little bit, like that.
Yeah,
guy,
no, I'm saying, why is that guy not intelligent though? Why can't there's never like intelligent, fat, ugly looking motherfuckers like.
Yeah, he never really felt like a threat. Yeah, he just kind of came and he shot a bunch of guns, and then the Mandalorians came and.
Sorry, I'm just, going to bat for my pirate people, so I'm just leave it alone at this point. I'm just leave it alone because I said my piece.
But yeah, like they sent out the distress signal to Carson Teva, who is, I believe he plays the dad on Kim's Convenience. Like this.
Love that show. Never seen it.
I've seen a few episodes. Like, the only reason I watched it because Simu Liu, Shang-Chi, he that's where he got his start. He was on that show. I was like, when he got cast, I was like, oh, let me see what this dude's about. I was like, oh, he's pretty funny. The show's pretty funny. And yeah, that dude plays the dad of Kim. But anyway, or no, Kim's their last name. But anyway,
sounds terrible. Like, sounds like a terrible show. Go ahead, continue. I'm joking. I mean, you only finished. You only made it to 2 episodes, so I just feel like it wasn't that good. But continue.
Yes, the Greek Karga, he contacts Kim's Convenience, and he reaches out to his his superior to see if they can get some official New Republic help to aid the Navarro people, and the commander is played by none other than Tim Meadows. This was a very cameo heavy last 2 episodes, by the way.
No, Grief Karga didn't reach out to Tim Meadows. It was that.
No, that's what I'm saying. The Kim's Convenience. He reached out to Tim Meadows.
Yeah. He reaches out to Tim Meadows, which was great because he wasn't, grabbing no bitches on the butt, and he wasn't requiring any fish sandwiches.
Yeah.
So
yeah, the ladies' man is here.
Yes, can I get you a fish sandwich?
Oh man, that's got to go on the list of. Does it hold up?
Oh yeah. Oh, does it hold up? No, it doesn't. But you know what? It will be fucking hilarious though.
Oh man, who's to say? We got to see. We got to rewatch it to find out.
What? I gotta watch it to find out. I haven't seen it in a good 15 years. So.
It's been probably. I was about to say it's been too long, but I was like, it's probably been just long enough. It's been an appropriate amount of time.
Have you ever had a man put his dick between your breasts?
Oh man, Karen Parsons. She's actually a really good actress. Man, that's probably the biggest movie that she's been in.
There's a lot of things that you should think about doing sometimes, Sally. If you ever had a man stick his penis between your butt cheeks upside down, that is a fun. It is a fun experience, and I have done it at least 32 times.
Yeah, but yeah, Tim Meadows is in this episode
drinking cognac.
He's not drinking cognac.
Oh no, he's not drinking cognac.
He's being a dick.
Yeah, he's being a dick and he's being a big old dumbass. Yeah, Kim's Convenience, he asks, I'm sorry if I'm being disrespectful, but Kim's Convenience asks Tim Meadows.
No, Alex, I think it would be fine for you to say it. I am being a dumbass. I was being a big dumbass.
No, I meant...
that was my Tim Meadows. That was my Tim Meadows impersonation.
But he comes to Tim Meadows and he expresses that Navarro needs help. And homegirl from Quantumania, she comes in and she's scheming. We found out from the other episode, the Andor episode of this season, that she's been scheming.
Women beaming and all the ladies. Cold creaming.
Scheming, beaming. We're just going to call her Beeman for the rest of the podcast. Why not?
I like it.
But yeah, Beeman is out here with Kim's Convenience. She's trying to block Kim's Convenience, trying to, advance, trying to get some help for the Navarro people. It's an interesting little scene, but it does feel like Tim Meadows is really, really stupid. Like his characters are really stupid.
Well, it's like the Republic is really stupid. Well, the New Republic is really stupid.
Yeah.
That's the idea. That's why they're like, because, basically, I feel like this series is trying to retcon or like just softly explain why they did all the stupid things that they did in the Last Jedi. And like, it's like, look, this is why it was so easy for all those things to come back, because it was really just always bubbling, and because the New Republic is dumb.
Right.
Like,
you mean the Rise of Skywalker with like the
squeezes to keep control, and they lose control because things seep through the cracks, as we learned in Andor.
Right.
But
it's a big old universe.
New Republic has their hands on nothing, and therefore chaos ensues.
Yeah.
And there's this fine balance, which is like the reason Luke was born, right? Like, it's the reason Anakin exists.
Right. Yeah.
Create a balance, because there was no balance. Scales have to move back and forth before they can land on an even plane.
Mm.
When does that happen? Hopefully never. Because, well, if George Lucas has anything to do with it, because don't get it twisted, George Lucas still makes money off this shit, y'all.
I mean, well, that's just also just life, which is kind of interesting.
No, I mean, it will never end because they don't want. Like, they'll never balance out.
Right.
Because they don't want it to balance out.
Right, of course, because they want to keep making...
No, yeah, sure.
Of course, yeah, they want to make more movies, they want to make more toys and all this stuff. But it's an interesting kind of concept for just like, there has to be this balance of the Force, but there's like essentially never going to be a full-on balance, because that's just life. There's always going to be chaos. There's always going to be ebbs and flows in life.
I mean,
there's always going to be a foe
there
to
could be a balance
fight.
Because, people, like, as far as the Force goes, there could be a balance.
Yeah, 4 times. This is like peacetime.
Like, that just means there's good things that happen and bad things that happen.
Right.
That's a balance.
Yeah, the good...
But
yeah,
there's just nothing but bad things happening, and then there's nothing but good things happening, or perceived as good things happening. So there's nothing but tyranny and suppression. But then when you have nothing but freedom and open, then, it becomes chaotic. When you have repression, people get pressured into doing and rebelling. So, it's just like, you have to have a balance that way, that there is never one extreme going to the other.
Right. Man, I wonder...
I'm deep with this shit, but it's not me. It's George Lucas, man. George.
Yeah, I bet that there's like a college... I mean, like, yeah, a class at NYU where you can just like study philosophy 107 in parentheses, the Force, It's like something specifically about Star Wars. But yeah, then like, Carson Teva, fucking Kim's Convenience, he's like, well, fuck all this shit. Y'all are bullshitting. Y'all not taking this situation seriously. I'm gonna go take care of this myself. So he tracks down the droid, and I guess he somehow surmises that that's where the Mandalorian, like that the droid is with the Mandalorian camp. Not sure how he
That's called you're watching a children's TV show.
It's like, I know how you found the droid, but how did you know the droid was with the Mandalorians?
Nigga, that didn't make no goddamn sense. And last time he saw him, like, even if he knew him that well, like, he didn't even like droids. So, like, he wouldn't even assume that he was, like, with a droid. Like, I don't know. Bad,
it was weird. It would have make more sense if I don't know. Actually, yeah, I don't know what would have made it make more sense.
Maybe he reached out to the droid, and then the droid was like, "Yo, I have seen a Mandalorian. I actually happen to be with him.
Right.
Let me send you these schematics for where we are on this new Naboo fighter."
Or maybe
it
like
was something like that.
Yeah.
This nigga be talking, like, I've been noticing that nigga be talking outside, like, where he don't be like
which guy?
The little android, man. This nigga's like, man, we might have to check this nigga, man. Like, this nigga might be a spy. You know what I mean? Like, he might be giving up divulging secrets and locations. Like, we can't trust him. Like,
he's just outside
somebody
talking
needs
about
to like monitor his phone calls and shit, and put him on suicide watch.
Yeah, put him on suicide watch.
Yeah, because he's scary too. So, like, I don't know. He's I don't know, man. I don't trust him. Y'all can trust him. Put it in the comments. Do you trust the android?
Do you trust the android?
Do you trust the android? That's just a question. Do you trust the android that's riding around?
I mein, well, clearly he can't be trusted. He's a big old snitch. He gave up the location.
Telling everything. Leaving him on the planet.
But, Din Djarin, like, convinces all the Mandalorians to not kill him. He's like, hey, man, he helped me out in the squeeze once. I'm going to help him out. I'm going to do him a solid. And then then Kim's Convenience fills him in on the situation on Navarro. He's like, hey, I know it's not your fight. I'm just letting you know your friend's about to die. So what you gonna do? He just kind of lays it on his table like that. Like,
what you gonna do, Cletus?
Very much a guilt trip.
What you gonna do, Cletus? What you gonna do? What you gonna do?
Yeah,
come on, Cletus.
Yeah, it's very, very come on, Cletus situation. But I did like, that kind of like motivated him. And this is when the episode started getting good. Because it was kind of like a lot of bullshittery going on in the first part.
Yeah, it sucked until right at this moment. And then Bo-Katan's like, all right, look, this how it going down. This how it going to be. Don't let me have to tell y'all again. Bet. All right, we getting on here. Let's do it. You know what I'm talking about? Like, boom, boom, boom. Y'all know y'all ain't really used to doing this shit like this, but this how I do. This how I do. All right. And I like how they explain everything that's going on with the ship. Like, this is the type of ship this is.
Right,
it is meant to drop this many people out. And then I was like, man, y'all selling them toys, boy. Selling them toys.
It seriously are. And it's also just from like my own nerdy like research that I've done just like on all the different classes of ships in Star Wars. I was like, that's legit. like I was like, oh, I know of that name of that ship, but I don't know this class. So I guess that's why it looks a little different or a little more upgraded. It's just, like, it's total nerd shit, but also selling them toys. It's killing two birds with one stone, or feeding two birds with one stone.
Killing two nerds with one stone. That's what that is. You kill two nerds at the same time. You kill a nerd who cares about the toys, and you kill a nerd who motherfucking just cares about knowing what fuck kind of ships are out there in a fictional world far, far away.
Feeding all those nerds, man. And then
like, is it still a long time ago? Is it still a long, long time ago, or is this just a long time ago? Or is this like maybe it's a few years ago, or like, you know what I mean? Like,
maybe it's a Battlestar Galactica situation where it's like this is the beginning of civilization, and then like at the very end of Star Wars. 80 years
right
from
after
now.
They make the pyramids. Right after
Spoiler
they build
alert for Battlestar Galactica.
Right after they build the pyramids, then they all die. And then we get the first pharaoh.
There is like in one of the Indiana Jones movies, there is a C-3PO and R2-D2 in one of the hieroglyphics.
Yeah, we know why though. Because aliens.
Because aliens, man.
Because aliens, duh. No, yeah, but
there's also like a weird comic
George
book.
Lucas was a writer on Indiana Jones, so that's
obviously, yeah. And then there's also a comic book where Han Solo lands on Earth.
We're not talking.
Well, yeah,
we're not talking about all that, man.
I mean, we've gone on tangents. This isn't our first tangent.
I just don't want to talk about this tangent.
Okay. Okay. But what did you think of just like this last part of the episode?
Fight scene was cool.
Mandalorians were fighting the.
It was kind of like
the pirates.
It was kind of like fumbly a little bit, but like it was like I've seen all of these fight scenes, like the the gunfight scene and all that, and in the town square-ish area, like
the gun shooting.
Like, you just see those done in so many movies. Like Die Hard was used a lot in this one. Like Die Hard with a Vengeance.
Yeah. Okay.
You know how he like the guys on the shot top with the fucking like 50 cal blaster. And then old girl comes up behind him and fucks him up. Pow, 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 pow. It's just like when old girl comes up behind the security guard in the fucking
right in the hallway. Okay, yeah, definitely.
Ass up. Same shit, man. Like it was just so many things, man. I was like, wow.
You know, it's funny.
There's only so many ways to shoot an action scene with guns. Like you really, I mean, like you get shot at. So there's only a couple things you can do unless you're going John Woo it.
You know, it's funny when you said that. I have watched in the past few hours. I've watched fucking Mandalorian, Demolition Man, and that weird samurai Batman movie. So
Batman Ninja.
And so now, well, as we learned from that video, they're not so dissimilar to samurais and ninjas. But like, I was like.
Well, one was
said,
fake.
Like, the
one
gun...
of them didn't exist, and the other one did.
Well, they said they did. They existed. They just weren't assassins or anything
since that everybody fantasizes
right
today.
But yeah,
they were just spies.
Weird...
The ninjas were just the CIA people.
They're just apparently it's the CIA of the time. But I did like this. I did like all the imagery of the scenes when the Mandalorians were actually like taking down the pirates, even though they had no swag and no personality, and they kind of like just boring characters to kill, which to your point made like their siege at the beginning kind of boring, like them just shooting villages. Like, okay, we've seen this before.
They can't kill people like that on Disney. It's just, I understood what the deal was. It's like, yeah, we're here, nigga. Yeah, look at that.
Now there's like 30 of us here in the volcano areas.
So y'all got like 20 days, maybe 10 days. No, 3. You guys got 3 days before we like kill everybody. Blah 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 blah. Don't be there. And then like there's a scene where they were like in a bar or whatever, and this dude's like bringing out something to them, like he's clearly like a bartendant or whatever, a bartender or a bar attendant there, and he's just like bringing something out to them, and they kick it out of his hand. And I was like, well, what's the fuck is the point in that? You just ordered something. And then he just runs off. He doesn't even go back inside. He just runs away.
Yeah.
He's like, I quit.
He's like, why would you even?
I quit my job today. She's like, what happened, honey? What happened today? I quit. Yeah, what happened? How was work?
Somebody kicked the shit out of my
hand. Like, king man, first it was terrible. They was just taking drinks from behind the bar, and then they gave me a wet willy, and then a swirly, and then they asked me to give them some sandwiches. I made the sandwiches. I made them really good, and I know it was really good because I ate one. And then I brought it out to him, and he kicked it out of my hands. I just ran home.
This was school yesterday. I don't even I was supposed to do this.
Third grade teacher.
But yeah, all that stuff at the beginning was not very interesting. But when the Mandalorians were actually fighting, like I thought that the scene where all of them dropped out of the ship looked super impressive. And all of the fight scenes were super cool. And another just moment where we show how formidable Bo-Katan is as just like a leader and just like the best Mando. She the best Mando. It almost makes me feel like she's going to die. The way that they're building her up.
She's going to get her own TV show.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I guess that is what they do on with these.
This is
these
the
shows.
way.
This is the way. But yeah, then toward the end, the Grand Magistrate, a High Magistrate, Carl Weathers, decides that he's going to give the Mandalorians a territory from like the this place to that place. I forget where it was, like somewhere in the lava lands. It was like, you guys can have the shitty part of the planet where nothing grows, and y'all can live over there. It's very Native American treating of them. It's like the way the Americans treated the Native Americans.
I mean, it's better than nothing, which is what they have.
This is true.
And all they need is to do is to set up a base so they can get back to Mandalore.
They don't ask for a lot for sure. Like where they just came from, they were just everybody in the whole planet was hanging out in one cave. It looked like we're fucking fish
We're
come out all the
fucking
time.
like swimming T-Rexes and goddamn flying dragons were fucking coming out of here and killing the babies and shit.
It's like how do you use anything like you can't grow anything and everything is trying to kill you? Why are you?
I would live anywhere
else. But yeah, then the armorer pulls.
I'd live with was the Ewoks before that. I would live with the little beep beep. I live
Ewoks
with those
seem like they got a pretty good
first.
setup,
I live with the beep beep. I live with the motherfuckers.
The Jawas, yeah.
Jawas. I would live with Jawas before I lived on a planet with dragons that take babies.
I haven't seen a Jawa house yet. I'm curious how they live.
Thing.
Yeah, but we haven't seen inside too much. We've seen a little bit,
like
peeks.
Tents of them, like them living in tents or staying in a tent or something like that, like background shit. I don't know. If you see it if you know where Jawas live, put it in the comments, please.
Put it in the comments.
Like
that is a really big. Maybe they're just like a traveling family. Like this is their big RV.
They're
just traveling
gypsies of the Star Wars universe. Definitely.
Well, I mean, you know what? We're gonna get in the next episode. We're gonna get some racial stuff, but
let's get into the
just
next
like
episode.
toward the end of this one, the armorer meets with Bo-Katan and acknowledges that the Mythosaur's reappearance.
She's like, "Bitch, you tripped me out with that shit." I act like I ain't really cared before, but really, honestly, like that was before I saw you fight, and you really was fighting today. So you know what? I believe it. Shit, you was a bad bitch.
Yeah, she was obviously amazing, and now the armor suddenly is like, okay, maybe you did see the Mythosaur. It's kind of one of.
But she did tell her basically like, I was raised to believe that was some bullshit.
Right.
So I believe you. But like, just so you know, that ain't supposed to happen. This is why I ain't said that to you for a minute.
Yeah.
Because I just didn't believe you. But like, I believe you. You was out here fucking niggas up today. That's crazy. I fucked some niggas up too. But you was out here fucking them up, I really liked it. So I'm gonna follow you. You can take off your helmet.
Yeah.
Take off your helmet. Take off your helmet.
Yeah, I liked that. It was very funny, like how the armor was like, "Hey, could you like take off your helmet?" It's like, yeah, Katie Sackhoff, you're really attractive. Like, well, just go ahead and take that helmet off. Like, you don't have to obey the rules of everybody else.
So yeah,
because one other dude is like, "Hey, she ain't got her helmet off. I mean, she ain't got a helmet on." She's like, "Man, shut the fuck up, Brandon. She didn't do that."
Duh.
She's cute as fuck.
Jon Favreau, shut up. You always ruin shit, Jon Favreau. Another question: If we do get Jon Favreau's face, do you think he'll have a mustache? So it's like one of those big fat mustaches, like in Rick and Morty when the dude took his helmet off and he just had a big weird mustache. He just looked weird looking.
He's definitely gonna have some sort of facial hair. It's definitely not gonna be clean shaven.
He's had
fabs.
nothing but facial hair since like 2006.
Yeah,
I'm just saying, like, unless he's playing happy, he's pretty clean shaved. So I'm just saying, like, do you think it's gonna be a mustache or a beard, nigga? You avoiding the question. This is a simple question. Mustache or beard?
Probably a beard.
Or goatee. I guess there's a third option.
Probably beard.
The toy has a goatee.
Maybe I'm just like at least. The toy has the goatee.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah. Like maybe it's just because I can't picture him. I'm like I always see Favs in like.
Well, Happy had a goatee, huh?
No, Happy was clean shaved. You're right.
That goatee in.
No, I guess
Coming Home.
Maybe I'm thinking of. No, I'm thinking of Foggy. I'm thinking of him playing Foggy Nelson in Daredevil. But yeah, he did have a goatee and
I think he had a clean shaving in one of them. One of the Iron Men.
Yeah, he was clean shaven in Iron Man. But yeah, he did have the
once Tony died, he went to the goat.
Yeah. He got that depression beard.
Yeah, I like it.
He got the depression beard, then he clean shave after he hooked up with Aunt May, then he got the goatee.
Unfortunately, this episode ended, and then the other one started. Episode 6.
Yeah, episode 6, Guns for Hire, which is I think is this the first episode?
I guess we should say at the end of episode 5, they find out that Moff Gideon's transport ship was found by the Asian dude, and he's like, yo, I just found this thing. It's a New Republic ship. It's like one of ours, and it's fucked up.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
And I'm scanning, and I see evidence of no Moff Gideon and a bunch of dead people, and also evidence of Mandalorian armor. Like, what the fuck? I can't believe it. The Mandalorians busted out Moff Gideon.
Yeah, that was actually pretty cool. Like, I liked how that scene was shot. Like, it kind of made like the deep space feel like a dark room in a horror movie. Like I was like, what's about to pop around the corner?
Even I hate to break it to you, but space is a dark room in a horror movie.
That's one of the like most terrifying things about space. Is like there's only a very small square footage where you're even allowed to survive. Everything around you is death. So it's kind of spooky. I liked how they had that little tag. At the
small
end.
Square footage of life is. Oh no, you mean in a spaceship? Okay, I thought you meant like in general, like in real life, and then like
No, we're talking about space.
There's a planet here called Earth, but I guess in the vast space, that's a small square footage as well.
Yeah, that's the craziest thing about space.
All the things you said are true.
Hey, yeah.
Even when you didn't even mean for it to be true.
Yeah, sure.
I mean, you weren't saying even what I was saying. I thought you were saying something else. Yeah. And I was wrong. But you still would have been right if
I'm very deep. I got levels to this shit.
Yeah.
Guns for Hire. Is this the first episode that doesn't have "the" at the beginning? Because that's what I kind of liked about the show is that all of is like the child, the apostate. But this is the first one that's just Guns for Hire, right?
Because it's not the Guns for Hire, because the guns who are for hire are both Bo-Katan and the Mandalorian, and also the other Mandalorians.
Yeah, but I still feel like they could have put a "the" at the beginning.
You can't say "the" if there's two different ones. If it's plural, you can't say "the." So it's
you should have called it the droids or something.
It's Guns for Hire because it's multiple. It's multiple people. I got it.
But it's just weird that they changed the motif of like the titles.
Like it had more people, had more guns for hire.
Well, you could have. I'm just saying, you could just. I mean, you can name it anything you want to. You could have called it the droids if you wanted to.
That would have been a good title, wouldn't it? That would have been a terrible title. They only lasted through like a quarter of the episode, and also it was the worst part about the entire episode.
Because Star Wars has never had terrible titles before. But yeah,
we're not talking about Star Wars. We're talking about this show, and with this show,
Star Wars show.
Yeah, but you just basically said they didn't have any terrible titles in this show.
I didn't say they didn't have any terrible titles.
Right now.
I'm just saying, like,
basically your problem with it is that they don't have they didn't continue doing what you liked about it, and now they stopped doing it. So that's basically what you just basically said. Yeah, is like they didn't have any terrible titles until right now.
I didn't. Okay, whatever. We're not going to get bogged. We're not going to talk 45 minutes on the. But let's talk about the shoe. This is where Bo-Katan and Din Djarin and Grogu set out for this idyllic planet, Plazir 15, where Bo-Katan's former army,
also
now led by...
Shameless drop when they mentioned that, like, fucking the Mandalorian dude, can't remember his name right now, but he's like, we've got a contract waiting for us back on Polaris 15. Like, all right, nigga. Well, like we all know that. That's why we was all out here. Like, wouldn't we all know that? There needs to be like a movie or a TV show that does a sketch, like, or a sketch show that does these things, like
It's like a strictly Star Wars sketch show.
Yeah,
it's
like
SNL, but just for nerds.
I know where we're going. I know we're going there because we all were there. Alex, there's no need for you to tell us where everything. Like, we all know, man. You do this all the time. We get to a contract, and you're like, we've got to get it ready because we've got a contract waiting for us. It's hilarious. Bitch, I know. I fucking was there when we had the contract signed. I was there.
It's like, do you feel like there's an audience that you're explaining things to or something? Why are we doing this?
Crazy. Why are you doing exposition while we're sitting here? Like, we all got here at the same time.
But yeah, like the last episode, the Armorer did sort of entrust Bo-Katan with uniting all the Mandalorians, which means she has to go get her homies who follow a different creed. You know, they don't wear the helmets and shit like that. So
and they've been a bad boy.
That's why she's like, oh, we want Bo-Katan. She can live in both worlds. That's why she can walk around with no helmet. But secretly, she just thinks Katie Sackhoff is cute. So she wants her to keep the helmet off. And I agree. Whatever.
That's what it is at all.
That's not bad. It's implied. There's
implications. It was ever implied.
It's the implication.
There's nothing implied about anything. Ever. They're wearing helmets.
Yeah, but like, you can hear it in her voice. You can see it in her visor.
There's very little implications made in any scene. That's why when we have scenes where nothing happens, it's fucking boring.
Yeah, this was like a very. We talked about this a little bit off pod, but yeah, this is a very video gamey episode where you
what's interesting? Never use those words off pod, but I knew that's exactly what you're gonna get from it because that's exactly what I got, dude. It was like so video gamey, like so fucking like Grand Theft Auto-y, like it was so ridiculous. Like I just had 4 things plop up on my map, and I've got to go back to the other side of town to get half of them done.
Yeah, it was weird because there are detective stories and movies and shows that do this kind of thing well, where you go from one place to another, like even Columbo. Columbo, Poker Face. So I've heard. I haven't watched it yet. Law and Order even has a nice formulaic. This guy leads you to this guy who leads you to the guy. But for whatever reason, this feels very mission accomplishy. Like it feels very video gamey in the way that this narrative plays out.
On Poker Face, does anyone actually do that?
I don't know. Yeah, I haven't watched it yet.
No, does anyone ever well, I guess you don't know if anyone, because are they gonna just poke this girl in her mouth?
I feel like I'm Alex Trebek talking to
when they poke her face. They're just gonna.
That's therapist. It's not poke her face.
It's not the rapist. Wait a minute.
I'll take the rapist for 500.
Nobody's. Oh, that's embarrassing. I got. You know what? I've been wondering why my therapist is so nice to me. But I thought it was pronounced the rapist. I always
this is a terrible thing to pay for. But yeah, this was a weird narrative. Like we get the Bo-Katan. Bo-Katan. Sorry, I'm acting like she's the only person there. Din Djarin's there too. The main character of the show. They both go to Jack Black and Lizzo to figure out what's going on with these droids.
You know what's sad? I don't listen to Lizzo at all. Don't listen to Lizzo at all.
Right.
I know who Lizzo is before I know who Taylor Swift is. I swear to God, dude, it's so crazy. Taylor Swift could have been sitting right next to Lizzo.
She has, not next to Lizzo, Jack Black, but
it could have been Taylor Swift playing Lizzo's character instead. And I would have been like, whoever this new actress, or this actress that I've never seen before is really pretty decent.
And I just actually, since we're talking about actors or musicians being actors, there is a thing that's, pops up a lot with like I hear some black actors talk about specifically with like rappers and musicians who get these roles. It's like, Lizzo did a fine job, but then like I'm kind of like thinking about like all these other really great black actresses who would have been, or just actresses period, who would have been great in that role and didn't get the job, but she got it because she's Lizzo.
I don't listen to Lizzo, but like I've heard a Lizzo song before, and she's not great, so she probably needs this.
I mean, I don't think that Lizzo's hurting for money or anything like that, but I'm just talking about like, I mean, she's got
what
this.
Her finances are. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Whatever amount of money she had is not going to last forever, and maybe she needs this as something to do, like Jennifer Hudson. Like
for sure,
go into something else. Maybe this is what she's always dreamed of doing. Like maybe she didn't want to be a singer. Maybe she's always wanted to be an actress. And this is like this move. Now she's popular enough because she would have never gotten those roles as a bigger black woman if she had just been trying to use her acting skills. Now she's like, getting roles because she's so popular. You got to give her a role.
So you don't feel like it's like, it's sort of taking the opportunity away from
If they're good, then I don't get mad. If they're terrible and they still were in it, then I'm like, okay, well, why would we do that?
Right. Okay. Yeah. Fair enough. Yeah. Like she's not. Yeah. She wasn't.
Sure, she still had.
She wasn't terrible. Like she wasn't like what you call it. Damn. Now I can't think of the dude's name. Bass player who was in the Boba Fett episode.
Flea.
No. Although yes, that's also. He was also. That's another bass player.
Was in
Thundercat.
Oh yeah.
He was. That's weird. But yeah, he's an Obi-Wan.
A lot of bass in that Boba Fett. A lot of bass in that Boba Fett. Bass.
But it wasn't like egregious to me. I was just curious of what you thought about that, because I hear a lot of people talk about that kind of stuff, and it's kind of what I thought about when it popped up. But I love Jack Black. He was great. I thought he like blended in to it very well.
Yep. Too bad we didn't have more of them, because that's not that. When we see them, that's it till the last of the second act.
Yeah, this definitely felt like one of the missions in a video game that are
let's talk about what's happening. So the droids are malfunctioning, very childish, fucking like 7-year-old fucking bullshit to have to deal with. Like, okay, now we got to go over here and do our Fallout walk over to this station, and I told you. Star Wars gets away with like just showing off beauty and shit, but it doesn't work when we're grounded. It only works when you're in space or like doing a battle or showing off, like just flying. Like that's when it works. When it's like, or some creature, like some kind of big creature. But when it's just like, oh, we're grounded, we're just showing you these domes and these other things, and look at this technology that these people use and all this shit. It's like, that's boring as fuck. Like, oh, here's Christopher Lloyd. That popped me up for a second. Like, oh, shit, it's Christopher. 1.21 gigawatts. They should have had him say that at least at one point. Like, but anyway.
Yeah, I think it was just like...
Might have been in some Universal Studios, like, not letting them use it type shit, maybe, but you never know. But anyway, my whole point is that right after that, like, we find out that, he sets them up on their little journey. Like, if all of the droids were to be destroyed, then everyone would go, all of civilization would crumble as we know it. I was like, God damn, y'all, because nigga got to like wipe his ass and make an egg in the morning? Like, God damn.
It's funny. It felt very, not like, maybe I was just looking at it through a different lens, but it felt very like there's a lot of racial connotations in all this. It's like, oh, like the end of slavery. It's like, oh, what are white people going to do without their slaves?
No, I think that's just where you went with it in your mind. But like, it was just really like just a childish problem to set up. Like, in a child's mind, this would be like, oh man, that would be crazy for them. Oh, that would be crazy. But like, in an adult's mind, yeah, you go wherever the fuck you want to go with it. Like, you're going all over this other places with it, which is, I don't think that was their intention. I just think it was just a lazy ass way of setting up a storyline that's not going to go anywhere except bring us right back to where the fuck we started at. Right back in Christopher Lloyd's chair. And of course, we're not going to have a fight scene with this motherfucker. He old as dirt. So,
Yeah.
So he's going through his speech. The best part of this episode, he's going through his little speech of why, you're a supervillain. You got to tell what your plan is. And he's telling his plan, and she shocks, Bo-Katan shocks his ass with a little stun dart.
Oh, you got me monologuing. Yeah.
Good shout out to him, because he used to do that all the time on Taxi, remember? I hope that was a Taxi callback.
It might have been, yeah, it probably was a Taxi callback. It's like, oh man, please, put out all the pads that you need for me to do this fall. I need to do this.
I do it at home sometimes without pads, but if y'all put down the pads, it'd be perfect.
It was definitely like a very predictable episode where it was Mando and Bo-Katan doing Law and Order, where they ask questions and they get to the bottom of the crime.
You know what? They should have had that would have made it a little better if every time they went to a different scene, it went dong dong.
That would have been great, actually. Oh my god,
way better. This fucking episode sucked.
Dong dong, the droid district.
They find out that
oh my god,
this is the droid district of Pulsar 15.
And
the crimes that happen here are real, and they're affected by real people, solved by real officers of the law. One is a Mandalorian. The other one is a Mandalorian.
These are their stories.
This is the way.
This is the way. Yeah, maybe this is one of the reasons why I felt like there was some racially stuff going on, because Mando is wild racist against these droids, son. He's kicking these niggas in the back.
The droids killed his father, son.
Droids
trying to kill my father, son.
I mean, I get all that, but there's
you just got. I don't know what you're going the wrong direction with that. I don't even get any of that. Period. It's not racism. Droids killed.
Obviously, it's not racist.
I know. I'm just saying. I don't get any of those connotations. I'm just saying.
Obviously, that there is prejudice in this storyline. That's what his whole character is about. That's why Bo-Katan is checking him.
Racism and prejudice is different things. That's why I said
definitely for sure.
Look, I don't get any racism out of it. I think he's scared of droids.
Okay, for sure. Definitely.
I think he's scared of droids, so therefore he's afraid of droids. So he thinks that droids shouldn't ever be around. He gets paranoid when there's a bunch of droids around.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, he's definitely got holding on to that trauma. But obviously, it's not to say that his prejudice doesn't come from a place of trauma and fear and a real place. But Bo-Katan is just hey, this just because the person who committed this crime is a droid doesn't mean all of these droids. Yeah, but see,
by your logic, that would make everybody. Mandalorian handles all of the situations that he handles that way. That's why the show has been actually cool this entire time until this season. It's been kind of slow because he literally always shoots and asks questions later. He threatens everybody. He handled the androids the same way he handles any situation that he goes into when he's trying to interrogate people. He goes in at full bore and he don't be asking too many questions because he ain't trying to waste too much time. I got to go.
Right,
but I'm just saying, that would make him racist towards everybody then, because that's how he handles everything. I don't think it had nothing to do with race. I don't think it had anything to do with prejudice. Of course it's not. I don't think it had anything to do with prejudice. This is how the Mandalorian handles these types of situations.
For sure.
And he doesn't handle things. I'm just saying, I think what they were trying to show, the reason they were doing that is because they're trying to show that Bo-Katan is capable of handling things diplomatically, capable because she grew up different than Mandalorian did. So she's able to do things because you didn't watch the Clone Wars. So I'm just trying to say, I'm trying to show that I think what they're trying to do is that bring in the personality of Bo-Katan, show you that she's able to handle things in a different way than the Mandalorian normally would. This is why the Mandalorian shouldn't be the leader of the clan, which people probably were assuming still was going to happen.
Yeah,
at the end of this series or something. I think it's a way to break off from that. I think it's a way to show his immaturity level of some kind. I don't think it was meant to have anything to do with racism, prejudice, or anything like that. I think they were just utilizing his overzealous nature to show her calm and stoic nature.
Yeah, they're definitely trying to highlight how much of how great of a leader that she is, and like I said, it's been her season.
It is. I don't even know why it's called The Mandalorian. It could have been called the Mandalorians.
Yeah, like to your point is like the Mandalorian is kind of ambiguous, kind of like it's like who is the Mandalorian as we start to expand, and like it's kind of one of the reasons like the Book of Boba Fett. I feel like that could have been just like another Mandalorian season, but it's just a different Mandalorian.
I would agree with you if when the subtitles come on, when Din Djarin says something, it says the Mandalorian.
Yeah.
Like it's like, no, that's the Mandalorian.
Right.
And every time somebody sees the Mandalorian, oh, get those Mandalorians. But go, that's the Mandalorian.
Right. I mean, but we know who the Mandalorian has been for this season. And to that point, we get a nice little exclamation point at the end of this episode, which is,
I don't think you're supposed to say to that point.
We forgot to mention
I
the
don't think
opening.
you're supposed to say to that point when you made the point yourself. I don't think you're supposed to say that point.
But for like the opening of the episode, we forgot to talk about the opening because an old ally of Bo-Katan's, is his name Axis?
No,
Axis
we didn't forget to talk about it because I was like, remember, go get the contract. Like, we've got a contract to collect on Plexar 15. They're like, bitch, I know that shit, nigga. Like, what the fuck? Yeah, remember we did that bit.
Yeah, so Mandalorian and Bo-Katan, they come upon the Mandalorians.
What was his name? You said it's Alice?
Axis Waves, I think.
Axis Waves. Now, isn't that a fucking crazy name?
Or Axis Woves.
Oh, that's a worse name. His name should have been
Axe Woves. Sorry.
Axe Woves?
Axe Woves.
Axe Woves. Yeah, I don't know. I don't like it.
These names are weird. I'm wondering if there's just like there has to be some sort of like random Star Wars name generator.
Definitely. It's like the thing you get to do when you first day when you get there. Yeah, man, you get to create a character right now. You get to create a character name that'll be used for sure, and something that we do is just put it right here. Man.
Eventually. But yeah, then like Bo-Katan and Mando come upon the Mandalorians after they complete all their video game missions.
Yep.
Their side quests. Missions. Yeah. They finally come upon X-Wave and all of the Mandalorians.
X-Wave sounds like a fucking porn star name. My name's X-Wave. I'm about to pound your bitch to sleep. Fucking cuck.
But yeah, and I actually really like this fight scene between Bo-Katan and X-Wove, even though it was, I don't know, like
it's short. You mean?
You said it was short?
It was short. It was not really that great. Is that what
I feel like it was as long as it needed to be. I don't like fight scenes. Honestly, they're like too long. After a while, I get bored of some fight scenes. It's like, all right, we get it. But yeah, this is like nice little short fight, like interesting fight scene, like the way everybody's like using their jetpacks and little Mandalorian weapons, and Bo-Katan comes out on top. And
should have been a 15-minute episode, 15-minute shorter episode. Could have had that fight scene happen right after. Like they could have got to Christopher Lloyd, realized he was fucking shit up, zapped his ass, and fucking then gone ahead straight to the Mandalorians, had a little fight scene in the episode 15 minutes earlier. Get the fuck up out of here. I'm like Charles Barkley at the end of TNT, like, yo, can we leave yet? What time is it? Like, this is like, that episode was not good. Just so we had that whole episode just so we can give her the Darksaber.
It's funny because it was directed by one of my favorite directors of these shows, Bryce Dallas Howard. She's like directed some of my favorite episodes of Mandalorian.
This is her third.
This is her fourth one.
Well, then this is her fourth one. She's done 3.
She good. But this one was not. This is not my favorite.
She did the one that was people's least favorite, which is the Luke episode with Grogu.
Yeah, she did do that one. The Book of Boba Fett, but she also did it was.
Well, look, all that means is she's 50-50.
Well, also, it's a funny story. I've read an article by Bryce Dallas Howard, her first episode that she directed for Mandalorian, and I don't know if they wanted this to come out this way. But like when I was reading it, it was like Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni were like, yeah, we had this really hard episode that was like, man, we don't know how we're gonna film this. It's not really that good. Let's give it to Bryce. She was talking about how she wanted to direct a Star Wars, an episode of The Mandalorian size she's been wanting to direct. And this is the first thing that she directed. And they were like, let's just give it to her. But then it turned out pretty good. It's like, you assholes. You could have took this episode out of the show, but instead you were like, give it to Bryce. This episode's dog shit.
It's basically how Jon Favreau got his directing career. With Elf.
Hey, yeah, you got to make some lemonade out of lemons sometimes. But she did direct my favorite episode of Book of Boba Fett. No. She didn't direct. Yeah, that's right. She didn't direct that episode of Book of Boba Fett. She directed the episode that was the first Mandalorian episode of Book of Boba Fett. The one that everybody loved.
50-50.
Hey, give her a movie. Nah, see what she do.
50-50. And look, don't give her a movie. Should we see the longer it was, the worse it got. So I don't want, let's stick with maybe another episode that's 22 minutes.
Hey, I enjoy her directing. The writing for these episodes is what is the problem. Like, let's be honest. Like, the writing for these episodes that we have a problem with is the problem.
Look.
We agree on that? Can we agree on that?
I can't call it because I'm not there.
Yeah, that's true. We're not in the room.
I can't call it since I'm not there, so I don't know who to blame. I know who name go on the goddamn marquee.
And also, with these TV shows, there is like a sort of like a set of rules. There's a standard for how everything's going to look.
Yeah, look, she's not even really directing. She's doing.
Wait, what are you going to say? She's not.
No,
really
I'm
directing.
just saying, it's not. So you think she has as much freedom as Jon Favreau or Dave Filoni has?
I think that she has as much.
I'm saying you think that she has as much as
because they're executive producers.
So that's hold on. So hold on. Let me finish what I'm saying.
Okay.
So that's what my whole point is. That's the whole point is that she's got a set of guidelines that she's got to stay true to, and she doesn't. So she's directing, but she's directing with only a certain amount of building blocks to use, and she's got to make this thing happen, and she's not getting any other building blocks. So it's like, how many you get a certain amount of letters, and you got to make words out of them. How many words can you make out of them? You know what I mean? Like, that's what she's given
for sure. But there's also, I feel like creativity is wrought from limitations, and you can definitely see how someone's style is like sort of emphasized from like having these guidelines put upon you. Like I really like.
There you go. So therefore, you can't call them dicks for giving her this episode because they didn't know what to do with it because they just created limitations for her and made her a better person.
I can still call them. I can still call them lazy.
You just gave a whole you basically sounded like Jon Favreau explaining why he wasn't a dick for giving her that role.
That is still a dick move for giving to a first-time director.
You did a perfect explanation of why it wasn't. I'm just saying, literally everything you just said. Like, if we had,
you mean the half a sentence I just said?
If we had somebody that we paid for editing, we would go back and just play it right now. Bing! And it would just play it right now.
Half a sentence I just said.
And then I'm just saying, everything you just said backed up with. It was like if you were Jon Favreau himself, just explaining why. And it sounded so good too. That's why I didn't interrupt you. I didn't even say anything. I just wanted to pass through because I might use it as a short or something.
Yeah, I'm sure.
No, I'm saying I might have to chop that up.
Yeah,
that was good. That was great.
But yeah, then at the end of this episode, it's sort of a weird moment, at least to me. I want to know how you felt about this when Bo-Katan, she wins the fight with Axe, and Mando is like, "Hey, let me go ahead and give you this dark saber real quick, because you really the Mando." And she's like, that's really sweet. Kind of a weird time to do this, but also, you can't just hand it to me. We all know the rules. You can't just hand it to me. I got to win it in combat. And he's like, but also stipulations say, you saved my life. You retrieved the dark saber. You saved my life with the dark saber. You will the dark saber. Now it's yours.
No, she defeated.
You defeated someone who defeated me. Yeah,
no, he was defeated with the Darksaber. So technically, it belonged to Count Dooku, or what was his name?
Moff Gideon.
Dooku. No, the little fucking dude in this season, man.
Oh, the robot thing, the guy.
Yeah, what was his name?
Oh, right. Yeah, you think it's
General
Grievous.
General Grievous took it from him. So technically, it belonged to General Grievous.
Right.
But he didn't really probably even know what it was because he wasn't paying no attention for real. He was just trying to get a new body. So he was going to put his body into the Mandalorian. I'm trying to tell you, man. They just wasn't telling you, but I'm telling you what was happening.
Right. Yeah. But that's not.
But I'm just saying, though, so it belonged to him.
Yeah. And
so then General Grievous gets defeated with the with the Darksaber by Bo-Katan. That means it's hers now because he didn't own it no more. It didn't belong to the Mandalorian no more. And she gave it to him. Now, we mentioned this. Remember, we mentioned this when it happened. We talked about it. We were like, doesn't it mean that that's hers now? Because she saved his ass. Like, I mean, she should just get it now, right? And we were like, yeah, maybe she should. But we were like, I guess they're not going to do that. I guess we're just going to get a throwdown between Bo-Katan and Din Djarin. But we ended up being right. Go back and fact check this if you don't believe. I'm trying to tell you, we did that. We predicted that one.
Yeah, it's
on accident because we don't actually predict things here. But like that is one that we actually did get right.
It is weird that he decided to like wait a few days to remember that stipulation.
Well, I don't think he thought it was going to come up.
I feel like a really great time to bring this up was when he was with all the other Mandalorians. Like,
no, they don't care. They don't. I'm just saying. They don't care about who's will. The other Mandalorians don't believe in that. That's why it wasn't pertinent to bring it up. That's what I'm saying. You have two different factions of Mandalorians. The ones who roll with Bo-Katan or were rolling with her, they believe that the saber has to be fought and won in combat, and that's who they follow, and that's who the leader of Mandalore is, whoever wields it. But the other ones, they don't care about that. Like now,
but Jon Favreau fought him.
He wanted it
for it, yeah,
because his ancestor is the one who created it. So, like, the guy who created the Darksaber is his ancient ancestor.
Yeah, I guess this is
that's the first Jedi Mandalorian. So he wanted the lightsaber because it's his birthright. But he has to fight somebody and win it for it. So that's the only reason he wanted it. Everybody else don't want it. Nobody cares.
Yeah, I guess it's just like plays more to Din Djarin's strong and silent type. He's like, you know what? I'm not gonna bring this up until it's like I really, really have to.
Right.
But yeah.
And also, he likes using it, obviously. So he's like, shit, I'm going to hold on to this bitch until I really got to get it.
It's like, I got one last swing on that droid.
Till I really got to give it to it. Then I'm going to give it back.
But yeah, then we get this great shot of Bo-Katan wielding the black saber. Or the dark saber, whatever. We call it the black saber.
I don't know, wielding, but she was holding it for sure.
She was holding it. And we already know that she's nice with that shit.
I guess wielding and holding is probably the same thing. Like that's probably what wielding means.
Yeah, they're synonyms probably.
Like coming and going.
Going.
It's the same
those
thing.
are antonyms.
It really is. It's not the same thing. If you're coming from somewhere, you're going somewhere else. If you're going somewhere, then you're coming from somewhere else.
Oh man, isn't that the riddle? That's the riddle for today.
Right.
That is the high
There's no question. That was no riddle. That was all statement. There's no riddle.
Oh gosh.
Don't riddles have to be questions? That's the riddle.
That is the riddle. Maybe. Man, somebody call Paul Dano. Guys, well, thanks for watching. This has been another episode of the podcast.
Thank you so much for watching. If you're still here for some reason, say hi to Penny.
Yeah, she is all up at the screen. We do this every once in a while, so go ahead and leave a like and subscribe so you can get updates on new videos. Go ahead and check us out on Twitter, IG, TikTok, Spotify, likewise, Letterboxd, all the internet things at the Drunk Banthas. Until next time, stay safe, my little battle droids. May the force be with you.
This is the way.